Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. Hello to my loyal subs. I hope you're having a great day. And to anyone new here, a warm welcome. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. All I ask is that after watching and or listening to the video, if you find you enjoyed it, please smash the like button, consider subscribing, feel free to share, and hit that notification bell. And with all that out of the way, let's dig in. I'm back, T here. There is new information regarding the Madeline Soto case out of Kissimmee, Florida. You may recall that she's the 13-year-old girl who went missing on the morning of Monday, February 26th of 2024. Coincidentally, the same day that 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers went missing from his home in Tennessee. Maddie, tragically, was discovered 5 days later deceased along a rural road 22 miles from her home. Her mother's so-called partner, Stephan Sterns, was later arrested and basically charged with a gazillion counts related to the essay of Madeline, which went on over many years, as well as with child P and first-degree murder. Newly released discovery documents now are giving us a window into how law enforcement came to arrest Sterns. There are several redacted reports and some new audio from an interview that detectives had with Sterns on February 27th. So that would be the day after Madeline went missing. These documents show why Sterns was arrested for the essay and child P charges. Now, according to one of the reports, a detective interviewed Sterns at the home that he was sharing with Madeline and her mom, Jenn Soto. The interview sounds like it was done outside of Jenn Soto's townhouse and somewhere within the parking area. You can hear the noise of cars and planes in the background. During the interview, Sterns was asked where exactly he dropped Maddie off and where exactly he went after dropping her off. As the interview continues, the detectives start questioning some of Sterns' details, and one of the detectives actually catches Sterns providing some misinformation about which direction he was headed in at a certain time on the morning that Maddie vanished. The detective says to Sterns something akin to, "Well, why then were you captured headed south by a security camera at such and such time?" Suddenly put on the spot, Sterns changes his story, and the story that he tells makes very little sense. You can tell that the detectives at that point are now looking at Sterns with a lot of suspicion. I'm going to play you that 23-minute interview right now. Take a listen, and I'll chat with you on the other side.
So did you go through the driveway? Did you go inside? Where did you get the Danish from?
Oh, I did Anthony's that I brought from home a couple of days ago.
Okay.
So she wasn't without food totally. So we just continued past it again and turned around and said, screw it. Just dropped.
Okay, I changed my mind. I'm going to stop after certain sections so I can tell you what was said just in case you can't hear it. Sterns says that he fed or provided some pastries to Madeline. Apparently, they also went through a McDonald's drive-thru, but Madeline preferred eating the pastries. And so Sterns is sort of patting himself on the back, saying that Madeline did not go without food that morning. Let's continue.
Feeling early.
Okay, so you came back around to the McDonald's.
And then right onto the school there.
Is that back on John Young Parkway?
Yeah, back on the John Young Parkway. It comes down here. And then there's Town Center again.
So then you took Town Center the second time around?
Yes, and then made it right down to the school.
Do you remember what time you dropped her off?
I estimated it to be sometime between 8:20, 8:40.
So the detectives are asking him which route he took to drop Madeline off. He's providing the name of streets, and then he's saying that he dropped her off sometime between 8:20 and 8:40. Now, I believe that her school either started at 9 or 9:30.
Are you Does she sit in the front or the back?
She sits in the front.
Do you mind if I look at your maps real quick?
And just to confirm, also, you said, so the second time around, you said you went up Jongyang Parkway, you went through Town Center this time, made a right on Town Loop, and then you said you dropped this
Right here in this stretch here.
around this, okay, which was before the underpass.
Correct. Before the underpass, just before the church. The church was ahead on the left. The underpass was just beyond that. The school was just on the other side of the underpass.
Did you hear the female officer ask him about Google Maps? She wanted to look at it. He replies something like, I do have it, but I wasn't mapsing it. So Sterns is telling them precisely where he supposedly dropped Madeline off. We know now that that never happened, obviously, but he's in the middle of all his lies at this point. And by the way he's talking, I think he sounds very nervous. I think he's quite unsure of his story, and I think he's trying to piece it together as he goes.
Okay, on the left-hand side.
Maybe a block away.
Okay. And you said that that's typical of her to walk that distance?
Yeah, she likes the morning walks when it's cool. She doesn't like being seen getting out of certain cars. Being in middle school, it's an image thing. And she will sometimes like to hang out and wait for her friends. She's known to do that.
So Sterns is saying he dropped her off maybe a block away from the school. He says that when the weather's cool, she likes to walk. She also doesn't like to be seen getting out of certain vehicles. He explains that by saying that it's an image thing, that Maddie doesn't want to be seen by her classmates getting out of certain cars.
Do you mind if I just take a picture of your history?
Yeah, that's fine.
And that time would have been, you said around
8:20-ish, 8:30, sometime between 8:20 and 8:40.
What time does she go into class?
She has to be there no later than 9:15. Doors open at 8. Doors open at 9, I think. And then school officially starts around 9:20 or 9:28, I think.
And when you dropped her off, is that earlier than typical, later than typical, around the same time?
Earlier than typical. We had made really good time that morning, and with the subtraction of McDonald's, we had more time than usual.
Okay.
But she said it was okay. She was very confident and convincing that it would be fine.
So the officer is asking, well, when you dropped her off, was it sort of early for this day, or is this the normal routine? Stephan said it was early, and that's because they cut out the normal time that it takes to go through the McDonald's. So I think I got that wrong earlier. It sounds like they skipped going through the McDonald's, and she opted to eat some pastries, he said, that he had already in the car, I guess. I think that is him getting caught in a lie. I think because he had a deceased Madeline in the car, obviously she wasn't going to eat McDonald's, and obviously he's not going to go through the drive-thru with a body in the car. So he had to make up this story quickly about pastry. I still can't get over that he was trying to trick all the security cameras in the area and trick the police by propping Maddie up in his vehicle in the front seat next to him with her slumped over. Didn't they make a movie like that years ago about a character named Bernie, like Party at Bernie's or something, who ends up deceased and they prop him up to pretend he's still alive? Do you guys remember that?
And you saw what direction she walked to after you dropped her off?
Yeah, it looked like she was moving towards the direction of the school like she was supposed to.
Was she still on the right side of the road, or did she
She
cross
was
over?
when I left her, yeah, she was still on the right side.
What kind of phone is this?
S23 Ultra.
I don't know how to work this thing.
I barely know how to work it myself.
I'm an iPhone person. Is it okay if I go in your settings real quick? I just want to see if you're logged on to your Google.
I am not logged on to my Google with that, actually.
Is it okay if I check?
Yeah.
Does she have any other devices besides that phone? Any other electronics?
She had her school laptop with her.
Is that still supposed to be with her?
Still supposed to be with her, yes.
And what kind of book bag does she carry?
Black book bag with like grayish blue hibiscus flowers on it, like a print.
when she leaves in the mornings, where does she usually put her phone?
Either in her backpack or like her back pocket, kind of wherever she just thinks to put it at the time.
Hold on, I don't know how to use this phone. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
What I find really interesting there is how detailed he is about the colors and the pattern and the type of flower that are on Maddie's backpack. It's exactly what Jenn Soto would later tell a journalist who interviewed her inside her townhome. And remember, this interview is taking place on Tuesday, so it's the day after Madeline went missing. To me, this implies that Sterns and Jenn Soto had likely discussed some of these details. Just my opinion. I mean, I doubt that my husband could tell you a tulip from he could probably do a tulip. Let's say a gardenia from a hibiscus flower. My hubby would not know that. I probably wouldn't know that either, to be honest. I'm going to continue with the interview, but I'm going to cut out some of the pauses so you don't have to listen to these long stretches where nobody's talking.
But she's never ran away or been away for longer than a certain period of time, amount of time. Like that.
No, she's very dependent on us. I don't think she'd know what to do if she did run away. She's not the type. She's a good kid.
Besides the ADHD, is she diagnosed with anything else?
She was tested a while back and had some symptoms of autism, so she's potentially on the spectrum there.
Okay.
She was officially diagnosed with it when she was younger, and then she was retested and said, well, she shows symptoms of being on the spectrum, but maybe not full-on autistic.
Is this what you use to go places?
Yes. Go places, search addresses, look at store hours, write reviews. It's a pretty new phone, though. Have we had any updates?
We literally have like 50 people right now on scene looking. I don't know if there's any updates. The best person would be the other detective because he's the one that is in charge of all this.
I don't think I've eaten anything since yesterday.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are worried.
When did you come back to help? Pardon?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like, because you live down south, right? When did you come back up north to help her?
I just got here this weekend.
Do you remember what day it was?
Sunday was her birthday party, so yeah, it was the evening after her birthday party. Sunday.
Okay. Do you remember what time you got here on Sunday?
8:30ish, maybe.
Okay.
Boo-hoo, Stephan says he doesn't think that he ate anything since yesterday. He's trying to show how distraught he is. He's also saying that he was staying at his parents' house down south, meaning south of Kissimmee, before he came back to Jenn's house to help her, I guess. Perhaps help her with Madeline on Sunday when she had to work and could not go to Madeline's party. So he comes back from his parents' house, he takes Madeline to the party or perhaps meets her at the party, and then it sounds like he drives her back home to her mother's townhouse. So he's saying that, but do we know if that's true? We've had different statements from Jenn Soto, one in which she said she saw Madeline after her party that night and that she was very happy and she told them all about her gifts. Then she made another statement about seeing Madeline in the morning, on Monday morning, getting dressed. You know, it's possible that Stephan Sterns never returned to the apartment complex until Monday morning with Madeline to grab her school laptop and the backpack so that he could keep whatever happened a secret and make it look like Madeline had been dropped off at school and disappeared after he dropped her off.
Some time to make sure that she was doing all her nighttime routines. Wait for her mom to get home.
Did you hear him say to make sure that she was doing all her nighttime routines and wait for her mother to get home?
You live in North Pole, right?
Yeah, I split my time between the two.
Is that on
houses.
Snug Street?
Snug Street,
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense. So you have a lot of Snug Street on here.
Yeah, split my time between the two.
Is that Broward County or?
Sarasota County, I believe,
okay.
or Charlotte County, either way. It's my parents' house. They're old, they need help these days, and they got a house full of poodles. It's chaos. So I needed to come back up here and just get away from that.
So he's talking there about his parents' home. He's saying that it's very chaotic there because his mother has a lot of poodles, and he said it gets very chaotic there, so he needs to get away. I think, again, he's very nervous, and I think he's serving up a lot of word salad because he's trying to stick to things that he knows, trying to come across as a nice guy, talk about your mother's dogs, and then maybe the detective won't ask you more probing questions about your activities on Sunday night into Monday morning.
Between two deaf old people yelling at each other and poodles yapping all the time, it's enough to drive anyone up a wall. Just very happy to be back here.
Did you and your wife, when you guys were looking for where did you guys look?
Me and her stayed local. It was all the rest of the family that mobilized and was beating the bushes. And
Did you guys drive together or separate?
I don't think we drove anywhere when we were looking.
You didn't drive anywhere?
Not that I recall.
Did you guys go anywhere last night? Was that media?
Maybe. I think Fox 35 or something.
Let me, if it is, let me tell them to lose you can pick up.
Okay.
I don't recall. You have to ask her if we went anywhere. I don't recall. I was so zonked out on Ativan at that point.
Okay.
It was a wreck. I don't
And
think,
this would have been when?
I don't recall us going anywhere last night, but honestly, at that point my brain was mush and I was on so many tranquilizers to keep me stable. It's just,
You said Ativan?
yeah.
Do you usually take that, or?
Yeah, I have a prescription. I haven't needed it in a long time, but
What's that for?
anxiety.
Okay.
I was having these rolling panic attacks and breaking down crying, and I just...
Pick up, I'm sorry.
Thank you. And it was the only way I could get to sleep last night.
Did you notice how Sterns did not correct the officer when she referred to Jenn Soto as his wife? He also talks about he and Jenn not leaving the townhouse on Monday night to go and search. He's saying that they stayed home. The other family members are the ones who went out searching, and he was medicating himself with Ativan, apparently a tranquilizer, for his anxiety. I feel like this guy is always playing the victim. Like he's got a little violin on his shoulder and he's like, I don't think I've eaten since yesterday. When he was in the cop car, he said he was cold because he had to sleep on the concrete floor. And here he's like, I was so upset and so anxious that I had to take the Ativan. Well, what about Jenn Soto? She's Madeline's mother. He should be comforting Jenn Soto, not getting himself out of his mind on Ativan. This is not a man. This is what I call a man-child. He's a little boy.
Again this afternoon, so that's why I missed your calls. I'm sorry. I took an Ativan and conked out for a few hours. It's the only time when I'm not crying. It's okay if I just pop down real quick.
So he said he took another Ativan that afternoon, and that's why he missed the detective's calls. Okay, Stephan.
So we're trying to get just a good idea of times, all that stuff.
So sorry, I'm giving my best recollections. I'm not a morning person as it is. So a lot of the times are best guess.
But we know that you go up Jongyang Parkway. That's the road you usually take to take her. And then you make a left at that McDonald's, right? Which is the town loop.
You can make a left to get there either at the McDonald's or at Town Center itself. They both lead to the school.
So if you leave her at, just so you get a sense of direction, Jongyang Parkway goes northbound and southbound. So you're going northbound into Orange County, making a left at the McDonald's, which is the town loop. You said when you did drop her off at at that medium? You said it was around 8:20 to 8:30-ish, somewhere around that time?
Somewhere in there, yeah. It was early, but not like outrageously early, you know?
So what would you estimate when you made a left at that McDonald's to be?
After I dropped her off?
No, I'm saying when you dropped her off.
First left by that McDonald's.
Yeah, when you first go, that first left that you make at the McDonald's.
Had to have been around maybe 8, maybe quarter after 8, sometime in there.
Okay.
Do you hear him already making excuses for maybe not being accurate or providing different times for the same thing? Mixing up the times. He's saying he's not a morning person. This reminds me so much of Candace Wells, or Candace Bly, I should say, when Chris McDonough had her down at the waterfront at that watering hole, and she was saying, you know, she doesn't really keep an eye on the clock. She just kind of goes about her day. Red flags, people, red flags.
Sometime between 8 and a quarter after, I think.
All right, so just so it's, you can kind of picture it here on the map. So you're going northbound. You make a left here around like 8:10, 8:15. Let's say 8:15, around there. When you get over here, you make a U-turn, you go back to the McDonald's. But you said that she still doesn't want the McDonald's.
Still doesn't want it. She was just going to eat the Danishes that I had given her.
So you're going up here now, still northbound on Jonghyang Parkway. You make a left at Town Center this time.
Town Center, then make
a right
onto, yes.
And then you drop her off around like
Dropped her off around halfway up the road here.
So keep in mind, all of this is still northbound.
Okay.
Right? You're still northbound on Jonghyang Parkway. So why is your car seen going southbound at 8:10? I'll show you what location it is. McDonald's is over here. At 8:10, your car is seen going southbound at this intersection. So meaning going toward Kissimmee.
I had forgotten my gate clicker. I'm sorry. I forgot. I had gone back to the house real quick after we left because I forgot my gate clicker. I actually had to go through the front gate and use my parking pass to grab my clicker. So it was the wrong time. I'm sorry. Like I said, I was guesstimating these times. I'm not a morning person.
Okay.
So yes. We're going out.
How far did you get before you came back down when you realized you forgot your clicker?
Nearly all the way to the school. And then we turned around. We had plenty of time to kill, so it was time to go back. I rushed back, got the clicker, and that's when I came back here this way.
So you guys came back here to get your clicker?
Correct.
So when we look at the cameras in the front, it's going to show you coming back in
Correct.
here with her in the car?
Yes, with her in the passenger seat,
Okay.
yes.
I know it sounds like we're asking you stupid questions, okay? We just want to verify
okay.
the
I'm
times.
sorry I'm not being more help. I'm not a morning person. I was half asleep as it was. I'm trying.
The clickers to get where?
Into our neighborhood.
Okay, and you forgot the clicker where?
I forgot the clicker here.
So how did you get in?
It would use my parking sticker for them to scan to let me through.
Okay, so could you not have done that after you dropped her off?
I could have, but I also like to come back in from the back gate a lot of the times, and I didn't know if I would be back right away. And sometimes they're busy up front, so it's better not to wait in the line.
What time is security usually there at the front gate?
They were there when I came through. He scanned my ticket.
So would it have not just made more sense to drop her off and come back since security's already there?
I don't know if it made more sense. It's just what I did.
Ah, what a tale we weave when we first attempt to deceive. I don't know what the saying is, but you get the idea. He's saying that he drove with Madeline almost all the way to the school, but then when he realized he didn't have his gate clicker. At first I thought he said game clicker. He's saying the gate clicker to get into the condominium community. And I gotta say that my heart skipped a beat when he said, "We had time to kill." I think that's what you would call a Freudian slip. And you can almost hear him trying to think his way through all of this, try to explain why his vehicle was captured going south when he told the officers that he was going north. He is panicking, and I'll bet he's sweating bullets at this point.
Anything else that we haven't asked you feels important? Maybe that might help us out.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble recollecting everything.
I'm gonna step away for a second.
Anything that you remember, maybe she might have told you.
She didn't mention anything in particular. I made a joke about her Crocs. She wears Crocs and socks. We were joking about that.
Would you say she's usually like a happy, go-lucky girl?
Very happy. She brings a lot of joy. She's a very good girl.
I really want to vomit when I hear him say she brings a lot of joy. She's a good girl. Knowing what we know about him, that is just sickening.
It definitely doesn't feel the same around here if she's not here. She's so happy too. She's looking forward to my visit here. She's looking forward to us all being together. She's just happy. She's just very happy.
Oh, wow.
I left her like she was my own.
And is she the only child, or does she have siblings?
She is the only child, yes.
Do you have any kids with anyone else, or?
No.
So she's kind of.
Is what we call me.
So you'd say you guys have a pretty good relationship.
Yeah, definitely a really strong bond.
Just
But, I'm the person she goes to when her mom gets in a fight with her and she needs someone to comfort her. And I'm that person for her, you know.
How's her relationship with mom?
Good most of the time. You know, puberty not long ago, so she's getting the PMS mood swings, and when her mom gets them too, you know, they butt heads, and so as well as you can expect. But otherwise, very loving. Very loving. This girl knows nothing but love here in this house. She hardly ever hears a word no.
You see how hard he's trying to make it appear that everything is love and happiness inside the home. That's all that Madeline knows there is love, and he and Madeline have a strong bond.
That is.
How is she in school?
So-so. She's so-so in school.
Like grade-wise,
She's
or
doing a lot better, though. Apparently she just made Student of the Week.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so we're very proud of her. She's doing singing, choir. She's sounding just amazing. She sang for me last night. I immediately wanted to show her the movie Sister Act because the choir singing was so pretty. It reminded me. I told her I was very proud of her.
Does she have, like video games, anything like that?
She does like video games, yeah. She plays Roblox, Minecraft. I think those are the two big ones that I know of.
You don't know her to like ever have any friends on there that she talks to, anything like that?
She does group chats. She does like voice chatting too on it. Usually with like her cousins or her friends. They'll all be playing Roblox or something, yelling at each other on the phone.
When's the last time y'all lived together?
December.
December. And you said the reason was for your parents down there?
Yeah, going down to help them because they're getting on in age and they're making their end-of-life plans and they need someone to help out.
Can you unlock this one more time?
Sure.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, are you guys done?
No, okay.
The other detective mentioned that you did not have your phone yesterday?
Correct.
Tell me about that.
I left my phone at home in the morning too. I was so busy riding her over to get us out the door on time that I left my phone. She left her phone. We both left our phones.
Did you have your phone when you went to the smoke shop?
Not the first time after I dropped her off. I was still without it. I got my phone and went back to the smoke shop.
Okay.
Later when I got home.
And then I also noticed, I was checking your call history. I noticed that you don't have anything before this morning. Is that unusual on your phone?
No, it's a new phone. Stupid. I went to do an update yesterday morning, and I don't know what the fuck. Pardon me. I don't know what the heck I did, but somehow during the massive OS update, I managed to factory reset my phone and lose all of my contacts, all my information.
What time was that? Do you remember?
Oh, sometime while I was hanging out with her, I looked at her and said, what did I just do?
Okay.
She might know better. I don't know what time it was. It was when I was here with...
I don't think I have any other questions. Do you, Louis?
I don't know where my head was yesterday. It was so far up my backside.
That's okay, we understand. In the meantime, while we're waiting for all this to get sorted out, I am going to hold on to your phone, okay? I'll give it back to you when we're done. Okay? Do you have any questions for us?
How long are you going to need my phone?
I'm not sure. I'm waiting for my supervisor to call me.
My dad. It's just my dad's using that to get a hold of me and get updates.
They can call Jen's phone. Did the other detective give you his business card?
I believe so.
Okay, well here's mine in case you want it for any reason.
Okay.
Okay? Do you swear that everything you told us is true?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. I know it's a little hectic right now. And I know you were about to head somewhere. If you can just hang tight and refrain from going back in your car, please.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. I was actually going to move it over a spot.
No, just leave it here. It's fine.
One of the things that really jumped out at me in that last section that I played is when the detective asks him about not having his phone the day before. Stephan says he didn't have his phone with him. Neither he nor Madeline had their phones with them. How convenient. You get the feeling he didn't want to be traced to all the places that he was driving that morning. For a guy who doesn't live full-time with Jenn Soto and Madeline, he's certainly trying to come across like a father. We're so proud of her. She sings so beautifully. She sang for me last night. That was a little weird, I thought. I would really like to know what truly happened that night and into that early morning. And I get the feeling that Stephan was eager to jump into action, to do his drive to Madeline's school with Madeline in the car. You know, he got there so much earlier than she really needed to be there. It's sort of like I have the impression that he had a body with him, and he had this plan that he could be filmed with the body in the car and trick people into thinking that she was still alive, but he had to do it before the school opened for the day. Was he watching the clock going, okay, I think I can go now. This would work. This makes sense. Let me get there. Let me do this drive. And then I gotta go dump the body. Now, after the interview, one of the detectives got a hold of a video from the complex's security gate. The report says that they saw Sterns' vehicle leaving with a female wearing a green sweater in the front passenger seat. It reads, quote, "The female was slumped over to her left, which is an abnormal way for a person to be seated in a vehicle," end quote. This must be when they realized that Madeline was already deceased and that Sterns had her propped up in the vehicle. How sick is that? So after the investigators saw that, they went to get a search warrant for Madeline's home as well as for Sterns' cell phone. You heard Stephan Sterns say that he accidentally did a factory reset on the device, but the detectives were able to find images saved to a Google Drive, and that's when I'm sure their minds were absolutely blown, because what they found were 1,700 photo and video files depicting graphic images of a child, sans clothing, and also of the child engaged in acts of SA. The report says that the photos go back to at least 2019. The report also shares details from an interview with a witness whose name was redacted. This person talked to the detectives about the relationship between Sterns, Madeline, and Jenn Soto. The detective showed the person one of the images from the Google Drive, and the witness became visibly upset. I'm wondering if this could be Jenn Soto, or maybe Jenn Soto's mother, or possibly Jenn Soto's sister who was interviewed. We know they were all there jumping into action upon hearing that Maddie was missing. They were doing the searching for Jenn and for Stephan. Next, the detectives interviewed Sterns at the sheriff's office on the next day, February 28th, and they asked about his relationship with Jenn Soto. They also asked Sterns about the sleeping arrangements at the home. The report says that Sterns told them that he typically shared a bed with Soto's mother, Jenn, and Soto. I think that means and with Madeline. And someone, the name is redacted, always needed human contact when going to sleep. Then the detectives went on to the images on the Google Drive, telling Sterns about them, and Sterns agreed to having his phone searched, and he admitted to having a Google Drive. When the detectives asked him about the nature of the photos that he had saved, Sterns requested an attorney, according to the report, and he was then arrested. And we know the rest of the story, which is that Maddie's body was found in that wooded area off of Hickory Tree Road in Osceola County on March 1st. That was 22 miles from where she lived, and it was 5 days after she had gone missing. Now, on March 14th, Kissimmee police detectives provided sworn statements of their discussions with Madeline's mother, Jennifer Soto. The report says, quote, Jennifer Soto stated while they were together, meaning her and Stephan, they, Jennifer, Stephan, and Madeline, would either all sleep in the same bed or Madeline would sleep with her when Stephan was not there, end quote. When asked if it was normal that Stephan and Madeline would sleep together without her, meaning Jenn, being there, Jenn replied yes. Here's another quote. Jennifer Soto stated, if she needed a good night's sleep due to her anxiety, she would ask them, Stephan and Madeline, to sleep in a different bedroom, end quote. You guys, there's no way that Jenn Soto did not know what was going on. Give me a break. Another statement reads, quote, Stephan stated Madeline always needed human contact when going to sleep, and he referred to it as snuggling. Okay, that's some major snuggling. The conversations with Sterns came to an abrupt end when detectives revealed images allegedly found on his phone depicting interactions with Madeline. That is when Stephan asked for an attorney. Another report said that the day after his arrest, Stephan Sterns' arrest, Orange County deputies said they believed Sterns had information regarding the disappearance of Madeline, but he refused to answer any questions and again requested an attorney, and this led detectives to believe that Madeline was never dropped off near her school. And then later the investigators found video of Sterns discarding items into a dumpster at the family's apartment complex around 7:35 a.m. on the morning that Madeline disappeared. And we know that her backpack and her school laptop were recovered from that dumpster. I'm going to leave it there for today. There's a lot to think about there, a lot to let percolate, and I'll check in with you guys the next time on Bed Crime Stories. Now smash that like button, for God's sakes.